you know what time it is, baby. Tough love, easy love. With me, Terry DeFrancisco, and friends. That's right. It's Tough Love, Easy Love with me, Terry DeFrancisco. Hey, it's episode 8. Can you believe it? I can't even believe it. And I'm the person on the podcast. Here we are. Today on the podcast, we have wonderful comedian and activist Ren Q. He's on the pod today talking about the documentary and tour of Here to Pee, a show that's traveling through 50 states by the end of 2025. Can you believe it? They made a stop in Columbus, Ohio, where I am stationed at the Nest Theater. And this show is traversing on October and beyond. So we thought we'd put out the episode now so you can catch the remainder of Ren's shows as they keep on moving along. All right. Additionally, thank you for listening to the podcast. Let's start there. People have subscribed. People have listened. People have downloaded. People have rated it. I'm so honored that you're listening to this podcast. I'm so happy to make a space that feels joyful and connective and helpful and stupid and silly and warm for all of us that are seeking little oases in this wild time we're all living through. Thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting the pod. Glad to be here, glad to hold it, glad to have you. If you think you'd like to be on the podcast, by submitting one of your little quandaries, we sure would be glad to have you on the pod. We collect these all in a big clump, and then we have my team go through them and find wonderful questions from you out there in podcast land. So if you want to be on the pod, submit your own advice type question. We sure would be glad to have you. You're going to go to Instagram, Tough Love, Easy Love. Again, that's at Tough Love, Easy Love on Instagram. You can DM us at the team right there with your advice type questions. It can be as specific or as vague as you'd like it to be, and then we'll wrestle with it on the podcast, as you've heard. Let's say you're craving the phone messages of the 80s and 90s, and you're like, I'd rather call it in. You can do that, champ. 614-929-5545. Again, that's 614-929-5545. And when you call that in, you can leave a voice message after the tone, or you can text it because, it's the future. It's really 2025. We have the ability for text messaging and voice messaging on that line, not to brag. Okay. Let's get started on this podcast. Really happy to have it happen. Really glad to support Ren Q and all their endeavors, taking this show to as many places as they can. And this may set a record. So lots of support, lots of love. Let's have some fun. Take a listen here to Ren Q on the pod on this bonus episode of Tough Love, Easy Love. And welcome to the pod, Ren Q!
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for joining us in Cbus for, do you know what everyone calls it, Cbus?
I learned that today.
Hot facts. Like really hot facts.
It's a cute name. It's a cute nickname.
Thank you.
Some cities do not have like a super hot nickname. Like Colorado Springs, like Coast Bigs, yeesh.
Coast Bigs doesn't really stick the same way. No. Yeah, everyone here is really eager about Cbus because I think everyone's kind of like anti-colonizer.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to really like make it friendlier.
Ooh, I love the rebrand. Okay.
Look, Guy Fieri's from here.
Fun fact.
And it's also one of the queerest zip codes in America.
I didn't know that.
Fun fact.
Everyone speaks so highly of Columbus.
It's the best. It's like an oasis.
Everybody speaks so highly of Columbus.
You can do it. People still say it.
People speak so highly of this place. Everywhere we've gone, and they're like, "Oh, where are you going to be in such and such state?" And they're like, "Where are you going to be in Ohio?" And I'm like, "I'm going to be in Columbus." And they're just like, "Oh my god, have you been? It's so fun. It's so queer."
It is.
Yeah.
It's. I think I grew up here, and then I lived in Chicago for 17-ish years.
Wow.
And still go back and forth to teach or do shows and stuff. Mm-hmm. So when I first moved to Chicago, I remember being like, I'm from Columbus. And everyone was kind of like, was there corn?
Yeah.
It was like the same like Midwest eye roll kind of thing. And then when I was leaving to move and start the theater here, people were like, oh, you're going to see, it's the best. And I was like, what happened in the 15 years? Apparently. I don't know like the whole diagnostic of why it was perceived.
Apparently a lot has happened.
I guess so.
Cbus is a great rep.
Okay, noted.
Living up to the rep so far. Everybody's been lovely.
I mean, noted. It's like bookstores and, microbreweries and hippie shacks and...
Sure, cute.
Cute, yeah.
Right.
What's not the leg?
I love that.
Relax. But it's your first time here.
True. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, my mom is from Akron, Ohio.
Okay,
actually.
cool.
So I spent a little bit of time kind of visiting up there when I was a kid. And honestly, I have a big love for Akron, just out of the food scene itself.
Yeah.
Shout out Skyway Burgers. Dope.
Wait, time out. What's a Skyway burger?
Skyway is a really old school kind of drive up style burger joint. So kind of like Shake Shack has like
Yeah.
And it's there's a rivalry up there, and I forget the other one's name, and it sounds like Culver's, but it's definitely not Culver's.
Okay.
And but similarly, they're just like a burger chain that's been around since like the 50s, right?
And they can't be friends.
No, they can't be friends.
No.
And they have like rivalry, kind of special burgers. But the Skyway burger, at least this might not be true, but this is what I was told as a child, and I believe it as fact. Which is that Skyway's burgers are extra good because they do a smash patty after pouring a little bit of sugar on the griddle.
Oh.
And it makes it, I don't know why, but straight up, they are so good. If you are in Akron, Ohio, go to Skyway Burger, get like your standard Skyway burger with all the fixins. It's really tasty.
Okay, no good. Yeah. I'm not a big, some followers know that I'm not into fruit meat or any kind of sugared meat. Why? Fruit meat.
What does that mean?
Thank you for asking. I feel like it's basically like when someone puts like a chutney or like a...
Oh, I see.
Kind of like a acidic or citrus sauce on the meat. It makes me feel like the meat's gone very bad.
Pineapple glaze.
Yeah.
Okay,
it makes me feel like something's wrong. But sugar, I don't know. Fruit meat. I don't know if sugar burgers... Sugar burgers? That's what you're talking about. That's what it's called.
Homophobic.
I'm really anti-fruit meat. Take it here. Yeah, like now that we have this like right to camera, I'm just letting you know fruit meat's off the table. And I'm taking a hard line in the sand. And you can take it any way you want. No. That's not really true.
It's not that hard. You got some fruit meat picks, babe.
Picks. DMs. Only to Ren. I feel like that's the fun of like local places where they have like something is my favorite part of touring.
Oh my God.
And maybe for you, you've been everywhere. You've been all over the place.
It's been this is our 38th state.
No. Oh my gosh.
Wild. I'm like literally in disbelief.
How long has this tour been going on? Oh, just for the people that are watching or listening, Here to Pee is a touring show. Do you want to talk about the show a little bit first?
Sure, yeah. Here to Pee is an all-trans comedy tour. We are traveling to all 50 states. We don't know of any other queer performer that has performed in all 50 states in history ever. There's been no documented, no nothing. It may have happened and we don't know about it.
That's fair.
So certainly there's no one that's been out and has done it, really. And when I learned that, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, America loves it. We love a first. We love a competition. We love a title. There's like, I remember being in Tennessee and they're like, we have the longest signed name of a street in a residential area on this side of the Mississippi, and I was like, niche brag.
You are so right.
So I was like, how do we not have this? And so anyway, we're all trans. I'm the only through line. I'm the organizer of the show, and we donate 50% of anything left in tickets, right, to local LGBTQ nonprofits that are like doing level, which is cool.
That's the word.
It's been really great to get to meet so many cool folks and kind of bring the queer community together, but. I wouldn't say that you need to be queer to certainly attend the show. We really love everyone to attend the show. We had a Republican representative of the House in Vermont come to our show and really enjoyed himself. We had a bunch of yeehaw cowboys come to the show. We even had a protester in New Hampshire who was honestly the most polite protester I've ever met. Her name was Beth. She was lovely. She helped me unpack the car for the show that she was protesting. And I think that she was so surprised that we were quite nice. And I invited her in, and she didn't come into the show, but she did actually stop protesting during my set.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's like the change you dream of.
Yeah. I'm really shocked.
Isn't that really something that I feel like interaction, it shouldn't have to be this way ever, but when personal connection makes people kind of betray themselves in what they assume that their alignment is. They start to consider like, what is this person like? This person's just like me. Like I saw like a really fun TikTok or something where someone was just like, what kind of pizza do you like? To a person that was protesting something that they believed in, and they were like, kind of almost like
glitch out. Yeah,
you glitch out, and they didn't know how to deal with the fact that like this person is a human that I should listen to and care about. And then wait a minute, then if I care about you, then we're at an impasse. Like I have to reconsider my allegiances.
Exactly, and I think that that's a big part of kind of we know that there has been over $1 billion put into dehumanization campaigns against queer people and a lot of other minorities. And I truly believe that the best way to rehumanize is to find that little bit of connection.
Huge.
And similarly with Beth, I just was like, well, I'm just going to be as nice as I can be.
That's so nice.
Asked her about what she liked about the area, found out she had, a kid in college, and now she's an empty nester and is just trying to kind of do the work to, protect kiddos.
Yeah.
I think that she thinks is the right thing to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it was so sweet because she had a sign that said, why are so many girls getting double mastectomies? And I said, well, that's kind of funny because all the girls I know are getting boob jobs. And she thought that was kind of amusing because I said, well, mine is double mastectomy went great.
Yeah, it was perfect, actually. Thank you.
She was kind of amused by that and was like, she complimented my outfit and was like, wow, you were such a lovely young man. It's like,
yes, I am. Yes, I am, Beth.
And it was really cute. So I think that, laughing together and being actually even if you really do disagree with somebody, whenever I've been able to come at it from a place of like, I'm just going to try to find what we have in common.
Yeah.
Because I know that we have a lot of stuff that's not in common, but I don't know what we do have in common. And then suddenly in finding that, it humanizes people really quickly, and I soften up to them, and people are more likely to mirror that behavior.
That's
suddenly,
true.
I don't have an angry protester. I'm a nice old lady that just followed me on Instagram.
I think I gained a follower.
Yeah,
that's
really,
right.
Really cool. So it's been. I went at this tour with a little bit of like a FU mentality.
Yeah, sure.
I hate what's happening in the country.
Sure.
Which is still true, and it's still really terrible. But like, there is this other piece of me that's really shifted in this tour. I am so full of hope.
That's
I am
really cool.
so deeply hopeful
Ren, that's beautiful.
Country. And I'm so like, as much as I'm not proud of a lot of the things that America is doing right now and that we've done in our history, I am deeply proud to be, to share an identity, to share with so many people in the country that I'm seeing doing great art, doing great activism,
so much.
Being willing to ask really vulnerable questions, being willing to change their mind about stuff. I'm so impressed and proud.
That's cool.
Of this country. And I think that more people ought to know that is an experience that can be had.
Right on. I've done art and comedy for a long time, and I feel like the positives of this time are that everyone gets so explosively excited about and invested in art, kind of creating change and motivating people to listen and understand one another, and just like creating so much that it feels explosive in a wonderful way too. That's like the downside and upside of political climates being insane, is that people have to speak and they have to they rattle the cage and realize they have to make art as much as they can. And then cool stuff comes out of it. It's like an enlightenment period of humanity, which is cool.
If you look through it, you're so right. If you look through it like just a historical lens, war times are also renaissances.
Right on.
Right.
Always, almost always.
Yes. And we are in it now. And it's true. Desperately needed right now. Because that representation, that visibility, the subtlety of suggestion that art provides makes it so much easier to change your line of thinking than it does by just yelling at someone like, you're a bigot, and we don't get anywhere, And so I never been more firm in my belief in the power of art, and also just the beauty of the people making it.
It's so beautiful that you were doing that and talking to people. And on that note too, something I really am appreciating about this conversation is, and experiencing some of it myself to some degree, is that emotional bandwidth it takes to make a personal connection and touch base with the Beths of the world. Is how do you take care of yourself by ideally calling someone in? What does Ren do to take care of himself when you're having those conversations?
Yeah, honestly, I think that, just checking in with self at first, because I saw those protesters out there and I immediately had a wall up. Yeah. Right. And just kind of in my, not even necessarily in my behavior, or no one else could clock that. I can feel it. I can feel in my heart that I'm not this homie. Right on. Right on. And I think that it really is, there's this kind of self-feeding system of compassion. That if I'm able to bring myself to a point where I can just have a shred of compassion for this person. And for me that day was, it's a little chilly outside. Yeah. And she's out here standing. Yeah. Huh.
Okay.
And so instead of going from like,
you're right, block 1.
Yeah, it's like block 1. It's a little chilly, right? And then block 2 was like, gosh, she looks a little older. She looks like retired.
Yeah.
I wonder what her family situation. She's out here all by herself. No other protester, just her. And so that's interesting. Wow. Where are your people? Yeah. And so
that's so interesting.
It's a little chilly. You don't got anybody with you. Uh-huh. She wasn't yelling. She was being quite polite, well within her rights of just being on the street. So she's clearly kind of a bit of a seasoned protester, if you will.
Yeah.
Had a very well prepared sign, so not your first rodeo. So I can connect at least on that level, even if we're activists for different things. You kind of know what you're doing a little bit. It's not your first time. Same. Yeah. Right. How'd you kind of get
this happen?
Right. Yeah. How did you get so motivated
What's the context
to do this?
Life? Yeah.
Right? And just even in that and just kind of asking, how long you been in the area? Oh, you love it here. I said, what do you love it about the area? And just said, we have a really vibrant art scene.
Of course. Oh,
I was so amused by that.
Isn't that wild?
And I was like, I love the art.
Who do you think makes fun of the arts? I'm just curious.
Right. And so just kind of in that unpacking, she was then, I was able to see, oh, you really appreciate the arts. And then she was able to see, oh, you're an artist. Mm-hmm. Right. And,
I like that.
You have family, that is like kind of gone away. You have family, and kiddos in school and you're kind of,
I feel that.
I haven't been home in weeks, right?
Yeah.
I really miss my husband. I miss my folks.
Yeah.
I miss my sister, right? Like, I totally understand, like, kind of that being alone and like, just even that surface level of sharing the weather.
What are we experiencing together that we feel together?
I will take that.
I'll take it.
Little plank of wood as a bridge.
Right on.
I can start to build around it. And
that's beautiful.
I every time I do that, like, I soften. Mm-hmm. I feel myself softening, and suddenly I get really excited when we do have something in common, instead of looking for the pieces of a person that are wrong or that are not congruent with like my belief system. And it just that my righteousness around something is just going to get me nowhere. But my like openness about someone could really make the difference.
Something happen.
Yeah,
that's right.
I remember like someone once told me, like, being angry that a kid can't do basic division is absolutely not going to help them get through algebra.
That's right.
What it's not going to do? It's not going to help them.
That's right.
Right. And so I think that, like, if we're angry that folks can't do some basic addition for these social problems, it really isn't actually going to be helpful for us to just be angry at them when I need them to get up on the next level so that they can do that long division.
That's a great corollary. Wow.
As much as it is asking, minorities to do more labor, as much as, that is problematic, I also think that I am here because of the patience of other people that were able to help me through those basic steps of addition to get to a place of acceptance and past a place of hatred for myself, and that was being kind of put on other people.
Right on.
And now I get to pass that forward.
Oh, right? That's so beautiful.
Like, it really like keeps it like motivates me more than it feels like it drains me.
Yeah.
I know that's not the case for everyone.
No.
But like, I would say that if you happen to be able to find that like within yourself, like, I almost feel like I am like obligated.
That's sweet. It feels like a charitable service that is you're very embodied, it seems. Like, it feels like you're feeling like it feels, to be able to kind of hold that energy and alchemize it to make it givable to another group of people that may not experience that kind of love or calling in is really like incredible work. That's not a thing that you always see, nor should be expected of or ask it of anyone that has to like do that work. It can be exhausting, but it's so cool to see when someone's actually feeling propelled because of the love they have to give or the understanding that they're figuring.
Honestly, it feels very similar to comedy, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, when you get a laugh off of a tough crowd,
so dumb, God, so fun.
It feels so yummy.
Good.
It's just the best hit of dopamine that you can get.
Yes.
And it feels so juicy. It feels like a win.
That's right.
And so when I'm able to do that, both literally and kind of metaphorically, right, in this space, it feels really like a win. And so it doesn't feel like as draining as I think a lot of people feel it is.
Totally.
Putting so much into it, so much patience, so much time, and like all of that are real, right?
That's
Those
right.
are all real resources. But that being said, like, man, like I put a lot of energy into comedy just for those couple little laughs, and boy, I will keep on chasing that.
I will do it.
Really yummy feeling.
Yeah, it is. And it's not only, at least for me, being many years deep into this stuff, it's like doing comedy shows for public, like whether it's a crowd of 50 or a crowd of 500 or whatever it may be. It seems like the joy of having a whole room. My partner and I had a coach in Chicago once tell us, like, in a really good improvisational show, let's say I do improv primarily, a really good improvisational show should have 10 great laughs, not 100 small ones. Mm-hmm. And it really, like, at first, when I started doing comedy, I chased those small ones because they felt like pixie sticks. It was kind of like, ooh, okay, oh, they laugh. Okay. You get really like kind of.
It's like word economy.
Yes. You get so excited about like little pockets of laughter. But then later, I realized there was this kind of beauty in when the whole room laughs at once. There's like this like role of everyone has experienced the truth of this, so we all laugh together, and then you're like, oh, this is different. Like 10 giant laughs where everyone agrees, quote unquote, like they're all kind of in it, like, oh, this feels like a human truth. Then you're kind of like, oh, this is a better kind of laugh. And like as I kept going, it felt like I like those little tiny ones because they're fun, they're silly, but then those big waves of laughter is like humans are connecting. Someone connected, like I have an ability to connect with you from stage, and you have an ability to connect with me from audience. We're not on two different sides. We're like an organism. And if you laugh with, it's the best. It's like you chase that like cool, holistic, like why are we all feeling this together at the same time?
That's such a cool take, and like to hear someone else talk about as well the concept of like, am I doing like kind of like little laughs because I want to hit my numbers?
Right on.
Am I doing kind of this big laugh because I want this bigger takeaway for everybody?
That's true.
Even if it's like a taller client.
That's huge. And you do stand up primarily, like all stand up mostly.
That's a good question. I came from a theater background. Yeah. I do a lot of public speaking. Comedy is my main. It's like my main love,
thing.
But, love improv. I'm a burlesque dancer.
Cool.
I do a good bit of kind of circus act stuff.
Awesome.
I love like improv, specifically like musical improv. I do a lot of like musical stuff.
I do musical improv. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
That's like I kind of try to like squeeze it all into an act when I can.
That's really cool.
I am deeply in love with like comedy and the community of it. So it's really cool to get to bounce around between like Queens and, kind of like the drag scene, as well as like all like the improv folks and the sketch people. Yes. And then you have kind of your cabaret and like burlesque folks that will occasionally, they utilize comedy as MCs or as hosts. Yes. A lot of folks don't realize that is indeed like the same art. It's like under that umbrella,
That's right. Yeah. I know when I moved to Chicago to do professional comedy, everyone was kind of like, improvisation and sketch comedy and stand up are kind of like the island of misfit toys, and everyone's cool. Like we all sort of like see each other organically and realize like you're good, like you're funny, and you're different. It's like it feels juicy and alive because it's like, what do you have to say? Like, what's your point of view, and what's the fun of it?
Completely.
Okay, cool. I'll talk about this too because you talked about your mom was from Akron or is from Akron. Mm-hmm. Where do you consider home? What's like home for you?
I technically live in Denver right now, so I was technically home right now. But in my real heart, I'm a West Virginian. I grew up in West Virginia.
Oh, where about?
In Shepherdstown, West Virginia, which is the Eastern Panhandle area.
Okay, cool.
We're very happy little pocket up in that ways. West Virginia, I think, is certainly got its problems, but I think that it's a deeply misunderstood state. It's a really beautiful place. There's really great people there. The history of West Virginia is so cool.
It's so really something to look into.
So yeah. And I'm a very proud West Virginian.
That's cool.
I really enjoy getting to like travel the country and be like, kind of a proud West Virginian. That's also like very queer. Yes. Very, because I think that's quite counter to what a lot of people believe. And it's been nice to try to, not necessarily just set the record straight, but at least like broaden people's idea of like what it means to be Appalachian,
Yeah, what it means. That's absolutely right. I went to school at Ohio University on the border side. I feel like there was a lot of like crossover into like, this misunderstood area of the world. And it is cool to kind of like proselytize like these pockets of spaces where they're like, what's there? Just like weird mountains. Like no one knows what to make of a place, or it's cool to come out and be like, no, everyone's there. Everyone's everywhere. Everyone's everywhere. And
everyone's just folks.
Everybody's just folks.
That's my mom saying.
That's
my mom
so sweet.
used to like bring me up with was like, everybody's just folks.
Everyone's just folks.
Everybody's just folks. And I think that like everywhere I go, that is just so deeply true.
That
like,
is true.
Everyone's just folks, and if I can just approach them as like another human being, then like it's gonna be okay, right? Like kindness really is a currency that I think that we don't realize we can spend freely.
Yeah,
and it is a very widely accepted form of currency.
That's cool. Sure. Yeah. That's really cool. What's something that you like about the Denver area right now?
Gosh, we have a great comedy scene.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of theaters and stuff there.
Yeah, we have a huge comedy scene, and we have such good comedians coming out of the state right now. We're often losing them to big cities, which often happens, right? We lose our folks to kind of our coastals, to like our, LAs and our New Yorks and our Chicagos. But Denver itself is a really wonderful comedy scene, and I'm really proud to be kind of a Denver comic.
That's cool. And I feel like there's a leaning in right now to more people end up staying in spaces that are kind of, at least after the pandemic, we opened this space right around the pandemic, although this theater's been running since 2016. And I think we were all kind of like worried that people were going to move or shift or whatever. But then a lot of our friends that stayed in the larger cities, like all their theaters got like shut down or bought or acquired. And the mid cities actually thrived. Yeah. So Denver Portland, is similar to Columbus. Yeah. Like they all kind of popped. Even. Yeah, that's right. They have a great scene. Like there's a lot of people that are doing really well. St. Louis, like there's a lot of like places that have like multiple theaters and a lot of stand up or like a good burlesque scene. And they're all kind of blending. They're all cross-pollinating.
Totally.
And that's like who you want to watch, I think.
Absolutely. And that's also where a lot of working performers have to go.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to get a really cool big gig, but you need these kind of smaller gigs to sustain.
Totally.
And I'm really grateful to Denver for having kind of a constant stream of cool new venues.
That's cool.
Random audience of members, and just there's a big demand kind of out there for just constant live entertainment.
That's great. And I really like Denver.
Yeah.
I went there once for their improv festival, and it was just incredible. Every venue everywhere was like collaborating together. And the Opera House was in on it. It was it was a really cool space.
Yeah, it's a neat scene. I mean, per usual, every scene has their problems. Every scene is more, white dude bro than we would love it to be.
Yeah.
But that is just kind of the industry that we're in right now. And it's nice to see it shifting, and also that there's enough opportunities, I think, for it to shift.
Expansiveness. Right. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Well, so Here to Pee, if anyone hasn't seen the show and you might be traveling to places that they might be at, where's some states that are coming up in the near future that you can think of?
We are in Columbus today. So you missed that one. Sorry about it. But we will be in Iowa next week. If you missed that, then we will actually be doing the entire southern United States essentially in November. And so like final like 10 states. It's like most of the southern United States, and then Hawaii and Alaska.
Are those like the big finish? It's Hawaii and Alaska? Yeah. Okay. And because an effort to...
Bingo. Yeah. It's the only ones that we're not driving.
That makes sense. Like adds up.
I mean, we can try.
I mean, you can give it a shot. You can jet ski real hard.
I don't know. my Subaru is built pretty tough, but not.
No, I mean, shout out to Subaru, but it's not a duck boat. Yeah, you can't do that right now. Perfect. So we're going to go into the tough love, easy love portion. Are you ready?
I'm so excited.
Are you ready?
Oh,
okay. So I told Ren, but just a reminder for anyone that's watching or listening right now, tough love, easy love means we take a advice type question from a caller or a follower, and they ask us a question. We give them the easy love, which is us soft surrounding and letting you know how we think you can thrive with this kind of advice that takes care of you well. And then the other part is tough love, where we get to kind of be a little bit more direct, brassy, etc. Ren said something really cool right before we recorded. Do you remember how you phrased that? Tough love, easy love, to the best of your ability?
Higher self versus petty self.
Yeah, we're just going to call it that from now on because Ren kind of crushed it. So higher self, petty self is what we're going to say. And then we kind of declare a winner if it feels good.
Fantastic.
Okay, cool. So here's the question for you, Ren, today from Shinlak2 on Instagram.
Thanks, Shinlak.
Thank you so much. How do I be my authentic self despite my family of origin not liking it at all? Isn't that an incredible question?
My heart just broke. That was such a wonderful question. Same. Can you read it one more time?
Yeah, you bet. How can I be my authentic self despite my family of origin not liking it at all?
Oh,
so we can do easy love first.
Gosh. I just want to give this person a little hug.
I know, me too.
Oh, my Lanta. I mean, I think that this is a really common problem for the queer community.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Is this feeling of like wanting to actually express yourself and, who you love or how you want to present yourself and not having a supportive family system. Mm-hmm. And so I think that this is a really relevant question.
That's right.
And something that as a people pleaser, I struggle with all the time.
Me too, Ren.
Oh my God.
Me too.
Yeah.
I came out in 1995. And the mid 1900s, mid to late 1900s. And my family, I won't say too much about it because it's always like people know that know me, but my family did not know what to do with that. Yeah. And I think I came from a very close knit, like Italian Catholic family. So it was hard to kind of be like, what do I offer to them as my own, interestingly about what you were talking about earlier, like, how do I bring my full self? How do I meet people where they're at? Even like friends I had then. Yeah. No one was out on TV yet, Ren. Like Ellen and Rosie.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really like OG.
It was OG. Yeah, thank you so much. I was only 3 years old. I don't know how I could
the first like weird representation I can remember was like 2003.
Legit. Yeah, like when like Will and Grace, like
exactly.
Like Will and oh my gosh, like when they kissed on air, it was like like it was such a big deal. But I feel like that was so wild. Like Rosie was still talking about Tom Cruise. You know, it was like, this is a whole time ago. So when it happened, it was really hard to know how to bring my full self and know that like the risk was I may lose my family. I may lose like my friends that I adore because they just don't have any, access to like what the truth of queer life is. Not that this person is queer. I don't know if they are or aren't, but like, just anything,
I'd say, even still, right? Like just kind of using that as like a sub-in example of like being authentic.
Exactly
being
right.
Self, right.
Exactly right.
Whether that's you being like queer or you being like, I don't know, really into like anime. Or
you love anime. We know. We're like, you want to be a painter and you work at a corporate job. And right. Like, how do I, whatever. How do you want to express yourself? Yeah.
The point is that you're not really fitting the mold of like other people's expectations. Right. And that is a weight that you are then carrying. And it is exhausting to carry that all of the time, especially with people that you're supposed to be able to let your guard down around because they're supposed to be your
the people. That is where, the people that lift you up.
I think that kind of, both the soft love and the tough love takes are probably going to have a similar angle here, which I think is that like baby girl, baby boy. Baby day. Sweet baby.
Yeah, sweet baby.
You deserve to be your most authentic self. And you doing that gives other people permission to do that themselves.
Oh, say that again.
There's a wonderful Candy Darling quote that is, you must always strive to be your most authentic self. It is the highest form of morality because it inspires others to be able to do that. A lot of people don't know how to even show up as their most authentic selves until they see other people doing it, and it challenges their belief of what they ought to be doing, what they want to be doing, and how they're presenting that out to the world. And I really didn't think that anybody was going to love me. I didn't think anybody was going to like me. Right. I was going to lose all my friends. I thought like my family also had a tough time with it when I came out. It was really scary. So whatever you are doing and whatever you're worried about coming out as, whether it is as a queer person or as just a guitar player that really likes anime or like whatever it is.
It's so
thing,
dreaming.
I think that you should validate like that fear instead of trying to put it aside because it is a valid fear to have. And so trying to just pretend that fear and that worry doesn't exist isn't going to serve you. Right. So I think that you can kind of, take out that first arrow of just some self-judgment around whatever you're feeling around this, because there's already enough feelings. You don't need to be piling onto it with some self-guilt. Right.
That's gorgeous.
And second of all, I think that like, you being authentic and being outwardly authentic is indeed like the key to them actually accepting it. You being, closeted or hiding pieces of yourself that you don't want to be hiding, that isn't actually going to help them see the full you. Yeah. Or how happy you are being that full you.
Right on.
And so you're tripping yourself up by hiding.
That's so true.
And I think that, even if it doesn't end well, your loved ones deserve the opportunity to show up well for you. And you're not giving them that opportunity.
Ren, that's so nice. Because I think a lot of people pleasers like myself and maybe you, like you mentioned, we think about it being about us pleasing them. We also don't allow people to step in or step up for us. If we almost have to be like, here's who I am, take it or leave it. Yeah. And then we have to allow them to be able to evolve or change in order for it to work. Right. So like, even if they hadn't perceived that they could or should maybe this is the opportunity where they get to grow.
Yeah.
You pour a little water on them and they grow a couple sizes.
Exactly.
Your heart, those 3 sizes, whatever.
Like dinosaur sponges.
Yeah, dinosaur sponges is what we're saying.
Family be a dinosaur sponge.
This podcast is about a lot of, like metaphors don't work. So, you got it.
My
It worked for me. It worked for me.
And also, I would say, sometimes it is in kind of that soft love vein. I would, do whatever work you can on a personal level to find the authentic pieces of your family members that you really
that's good
support, because you can teach by example, right? You can show them like, I love showing up for you in this way. Gosh, it was such an honor to come to your recital. Thank you so much for inviting me to this country club dinner to meet your friends. I know that just that really means a lot to you, a lot to me to be included.
That's beautiful.
It means so much to me to be invited, or like that you think that, of me or whatever. When you can kind of express that out to other people and show this is a way that I really like showing up for you.
Yeah.
Usually they'll mirror that behavior to try to show up well for you.
That's true. And kind of like a fun bonus point of that is that they're also allowing you to be in their spaces, meeting more people that you're showing up yourself authentically with.
Bingo.
So then they see more of what they think doesn't exist or can't exist in the world, right? Like, so if you are a guitar-loving anime watcher, then and you can only think about the country club. These are very specific examples. They might kind of be like, wow, I like them. Yeah. And then because of that, XYZ happens, right? I'm like, oh, I know someone like that, and they're great.
When I stopped fighting with my family, about my identity, because my mom had a real tough time with it at first. Yeah. And now I can look back and see that she was coming from a place of concern. She was nervous for my safety. She was nervous for my happiness. She was It's like totally, there's just so many layers there. Yeah. It came off very sad and hateful, right? Of course. At the time. But
because you're holding it, right? Like you can't control anyone around you and how it's perceived, but you're the person that's like causing the reaction in the chemical sets of people around you. So it's like, who do I direct this at? And that's not
exactly right. And so even though it was toxic, I can see that was a toxic expression of care. But there was care there. Right. And so, and it took a long time. It took like a year and a half of us kind of not communicating, bumping heads, not communicating, trying again, so it's not an overnight process. Like this stuff does take time, but it did then kind of come down to, my mom saw me be really happy, and she saw other people see me be really happy. And suddenly she was like, suddenly it clicked for her in a different way that like, oh, wow, like even if I do have this concern, I do have this care, I don't understand. You know what? I'm a mom that wants a happy kid.
Oh, gosh. Isn't that it?
And that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's what's going to get you over that bridge, And so sometimes it takes time. It can take hours, weeks, days, years, It really can take a whole different stretch of time for folks. But, I think that I'm really grateful that I gave my parents the opportunity to see me.
That's so beautiful.
Be that way, because suddenly it became much more clear for them.
That's great.
So I can only wish that upon you, sweet user.
Sweet user.
Sweet user. Sweet baby. You deserve to live your most authentic life.
That's right.
And
you only get one. Go be the person.
And the people that are around you are also deserving of an opportunity to see you as you really are, and maybe surprise you and show up really well for you, or not, and show up poorly and have to grapple with kind of the consequences of not being able to support people.
That's right.
In a healthy way.
That's right.
Maybe they're going to grow from that. Maybe you will too. And it's a tough thing. So don't be too hard on yourself about it. But that's a real one.
That's gorgeous. And it's so interesting too for you to think about, like, if you mute yourself, then you aren't allowing anyone to see anything. I mean, like, if our whole world is vanillaed down all the way and we all kind of mute ourselves to these like very, very beigey sort of experiences, then people think they don't know anyone of any diversity or differences or anything, because they always kind of see this like whitewash of nothingness. And it's like, but if everyone shows himself, then we get excited about like all the representation that we get to
totally.
Yeah.
And like, just in my experience of like kind of coming out after having been so nervous,
like, so scary, so scary,
nobody, like nothing's gonna work out.
Yeah.
All of that is incorrect. All of that, your brain is lying to you. Everything's going to be fine. It really, really will. Because you then open up the opportunity for people that are so desperate to find you.
Yes, and need you.
Find you.
Right.
I have had just countless amounts of people that have become such wonderful close friends and companions. I met the love of my life. I never would have met the love of my life.
No, you hadn't shown yourself
to be a straight woman. That was never going to work. I never would have met him. I never would have known. And like we're married now, and I'm happy, and we love each other, and it's great. And
that's
like,
wild.
and like found this career, found my path in it. Like found a bunch of other amazing queer comics, and I've been able to connect with them on an artistic level that's been so wonderful and intimate. And so what I thought was going to make my world come crashing down really just made my universe explode.
I love it.
And I really am so grateful for that. And also the number of folks that I've had come up to me, trans kids, parents of trans kids especially, that say like, oh, wow, it was so amazing to see a happy, healthy trans person doing what they want to do. Mm-hmm. And with like kiddos to be able to kind of see that for themselves and be like, wow, I could maybe be that way too. Yeah. And then especially for parents, because they are often not given those examples.
No, they're getting a static very one-dimensional perception of what people are.
I've literally had like kind of those turnaround conversations with parents who are then able to be like, oh, wow, maybe like my kid can grow up to be a happy, healthy person that wears, of course, a cute earring and, is going.
Of course, that's the only thing. Yeah, like, when this happens, you will wear a cute earring. So, yeah.
Big facts.
Part of it.
It's true. It's actually a required part of transition. It's been really cool to like see that as a thing. I didn't expect that.
That's great.
But it really does do that. So that's my easy love.
I think that's great. It's like your easy love and your heart. I mean, truly, like everything's beautiful. It's a tough
thing. I would say that my tough love is a little bit like that, but like ergo Mateo Lane.
Fair. Love it. I love that. That's fantastic. Yeah. Like it's not that you should. It's basically like we're telling you should do the things that we're softly surrounding you with. I mean, it's not, there's no, the downside of you not doing this is losing yourself. And the upsides or the hard things to traverse are these people that you may have to like cut the weeds a little bit in your life and say like goodbye to people that don't surround you and uplift you, but that's not really your fault, right? So it's up to you to kind of show yourself.
I'm gonna tack on with some tough love on that. Please. Okay, sweet baby girl, baby. The tough love piece of this for both you and your loved ones is that transition means change and loss. And change and loss means grief.
We never say that.
It is part of it. It's part of it for you. You have to grieve this life that you are leaving. You have to grieve these relationships that might change. Your loved ones also have to grieve it.
Ren.
They have to. It is a part of this. Like, even if you are the same person, there is change happening. Right? Even if you are the same person at that different job, there is change happening. You have to grieve that old position. You have to grieve that old childhood home. You have to grieve that friend that moved away. And this is a part of your life that's kind of moving away from you. And it's moving away from these loved ones. And they get to like meet a new person, but they have to grieve the person that isn't really here anymore.
That's true.
And that's just real. And as much as it doesn't necessarily feel great to be grappling with someone else's loss around your life.
Right.
It is a part of it. And it is a hazard that we kind of have to bumble our way through. And you deserve to be able to have that space for grief. They deserve to be able to have that space for grief. And so at the end of the day, like my tough love, Buttercup, is that like this is loss.
Yeah.
And it is going to bring you a gain that is so worth it and so worthwhile that you really ought to face up to that loss and steady yourself in a sense of hope and a sense of realness and a sense of belonging to yourself so that you can actually face that loss with some bravery. Like, hell yeah. And hopefully the people around you are going to be able to like take it. They're going to, at some point, they're going to have to suck it up and they're going to have to accept you as you are now or not. And you're then going to have to be the brave one to make the appropriate boundaries that you need to make to be able to keep your peace.
That's big. That's huge because I think that we equate that. I saw like a meme, honestly, like a meme or something. It could have been a philosopher's quote, but let's just call it what it was. Probably a meme. And it was something like memeism. I feel like it was very, it had this kind of tilt to it that was like, we think as being a human, we're supposed to have this quest of being happy, but really to be human, we should have a quest to feel everything. Yes. And I think we don't always have the space in our life to think that like the ride is the biorhythms of what we have to experience with one another equals evolution and growth alongside one another. It's not that it has to be like good all the time, because good all the time is a saccharine bullshit lie.
Correct.
Right. So like if we have these opportunities of what is this, like how do we meet each other, and oh, that kind of hurt. Oh, I lost you there. Oh, I found you here and I love you this way now. Or like, it's not the same as it was, or I didn't perceive you this way. Or like, what are you now that I've allowed you to show yourself to me? Like all these things can happen and get better. And it's just like forged in fire. Yep. We get stronger and actually care about each other more deeply when we let people in and let people see us. And that's the tough love, is like, make sure that you do it for yourself and for them, and the challenge of that. We just said in the easy love portion, but
yeah, like once again, I think that it's like the same kind of messaging of just like, you really ought to.
I feel like every episode is going to be like,
ought to, but also like, one version of that to me is just like, screw your family, screw the world's expectations. Like, you just be your brightest little self.
Yeah.
With your, gay ass anime guitar playing at your corporate job. Okay.
Okay. Any of those are all
just be the most trans little anime loving guitar player. And you
be it.
You be that, and screw what anybody else thinks. Okay. And then the nice soft love version of that is just like, baby.
What if
Baby, I need you to be your best self.
What if Shinlak too? What if their authentic self is something so minor and we've really overshot it? And it's like, I love collecting Skittles. And we're like, oh, okay, we said a lot. But yeah, anyway.
Skittles. I think genuinely it really does apply for so many situations.
It does.
So whether it's a niche interest, or it's an identity, or it's, being able to like show your loved ones your love.
Yeah, your loves, your passion.
Which is, I think that it really does apply in all the ways, which is that like, you're a little bit different than they thought.
Yeah, it just aspects of people that are very traditional and maybe just seen as eccentric. Like, you're a little louder than your family, or you're a little like, you like comedy a little more, or you laugh and they don't, or you love to read and stay in and they love to be extroverted. Yeah, like whatever it is, like just do the thing.
Yep, just do the thing. And I don't want to, skip over the part of just like, those folks might choose to not stick around.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the prison that you're putting yourself in by adhering to those rules just so that they can be around you and not even love you the way that you need and deserve to be loved, that is worse than losing them.
That's right. Solved. I say the verdict is, I'm going to be harsh on this. I think that Ren and I are really ready to surround you with softness. So just know that you have two like pseudo friends that are like,
oh my God, have you fun?
Care about you?
Do you need a friend?
Do you need something? But also, I think my verdict on this is tough love, which is like, do the thing and don't worry. Like you are plenty, you are enough. Be the things.
You are.
Call them in.
And call them in. Mm-hmm. There are just, I just really firmly believe like there are absolutely people out there that need you to be the thing that you are.
That's right.
They need you. They need to see that. Like there is someone out there that is actively searching for their soulmate. And that soulmate that they're searching for is pretending to be someone they're not.
Yeah.
And how
that is so real.
Are we able to find each other if we can't be real with one another?
And stage representation, even, it's like you've got to see yourself to be yourself, is like a big anthem of improvisational work, or like stage work of like, how do we start to make theaters not just be white, cis, able, male, like very traditional, like how do we call people in? And it's like, well, who's at your space?
Yeah.
Who's there? Like who? So you have to be yourself too, to make sure that they know that they can love anime.
That's right. And also quick shout out to the performing arts. I would say kind of really this for anybody. When you are thinking about trying on an identity, right? Or you are thinking about, this is something that's really kind of deep in me that I really want, but how can I possibly let that externalize in any way?
Yeah.
Whether that's like a queerness, or that's a niche interest, or it's just a way of dressing. I really do think that the performing arts, the arts in general, provide us outlets to experiment. You're allowed to experiment and have something not work. You're allowed to experiment and have it stick forever. You are allowed to like try stuff on and put it back on the rack or buy it. Like you really, really are. And so going out to a mic, going out to an improv thing, going out
little
to
pottery class,
karaoke,
like anything,
and just dressing that way, just as an experiment, trying on a pronoun, trying on a name out on a Starbucks cup. Like all of those are really good. They're all really good ways to maybe try something on, so that way you can start to foster that sense of self and that confidence in actually presenting in that identity full time that you might need to build up a little bit. You need to like strengthen that muscle before you're able to step into it full time and be able to kind of show it to people in a vulnerable way.
That is so good. Solved. Well, this is a wonderful meeting.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is so good.
Why don't you tell the people, like how they can follow you on maybe socials or anything that you want to just share with them as a final note?
Everything is at Ren Q Comedy on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on .com, on Venmo. Just kidding, but truly, maybe. And you can support the Here to P tour by helping us share a bunch of posts. We have been shadow banned by Meta's policies for the last 8 months, and we are not allowed to run ads on social media at all. And so because of that, we've done a tremendous amount of personal reach out for the show, very like early 2000s DIY. And so every share,
wheat paste posters everywhere.
literally me emailing every single P flag in the state saying, would you like to come to my gay little comedy show?
Kind of sweet.
It's kind of sweet. It works. And so every share, every comment, every follow, whatever, it really does mean the world to us. And it really does go and like contribute to getting the word out about the show. And if you happen to miss all of that, you can still catch it because we are filming a documentary, and you can catch that documentary hopefully in 2026.
Awesome.
Released.
You might see the Nest Theater on there, which is where they are tonight.
That's right.
Sorry, suckers, if you're not here. Okay. Thank you, Ren. You're awesome.
Oh my God.
Thanks to all the watchers and listeners. We're so happy that you're here. Follow us at Tough Love, Easy Love, and follow Ren for sure. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're listening to a podcast on the Roost Nest Podcasting Network, executive produced by the Nest Theater and Comedy Arts Center. Co-founded and funded by Rance Rizzuto and Tara DeFrancisco. For more information on the Nest Theater, go to nesttheater.com.
Roost
Nest Podcasting Network. I mean,
that was fantastic.
It was such a joy.
That's a great one.
Did you have fun? I didn't get any of it. That's like always my fear. I have like a nightmare, like, oh, like what if that happens?